The Bpy.Props is not only for UI, it is also used when we want to store some variables as a global parameter or within a context of an operator and do some operations over that. So in that case, we can make use of the property and we can define and declare our own properties, and we can do some mathematical functions or something like that. So that's the thing I want to highlight here. So the next thing we are going to take a look at is the UI layouts. So we will see what are row layouts and how to split and create columns, and we will see what are alignments, width and height. Then we will take a look at the different UI contents, that is the labels, properties, and button actions, that is the operator. So I'm going to explain all of these concepts inside of Blender. Okay, we are going to take a look at a simple example now. So you can see here that I'm having a class here, and we are telling that this is of type Bpy.Types.Panel. You can notice few things here. Okay, the first thing, BL_label, which is going to define the name of our panel. And if I run the script, and you can see here we are having this panel. Okay, and you can notice one more thing here. The space type is properties, so it is inside this properties window. And you can also notice another thing here, BL_context is equal to material. So this is under the materials tab. Okay, so if I'm going to change this to modifiers, okay, so I can just go into modifiers. I think it should be modifier. Great, so you can see it is here. Okay, or if you want to make it as object, and you can see we are having the property here. Okay, so I'm going to move this back to material. Okay, so it's here now. So you can notice one thing here, it is collapsible. Since we don't have anything inside this, we are not able to collapse anything. Okay, so the first thing I want to highlight is this draw function. Actually, this is the one that is going to create the UI. Okay, you can think of this one like a whiteboard. So we are going to draw inside this place, but we are going to use codes to draw. Okay, fine. So you can notice that we are having self and context. In Blender, most of the function is going to take this self. Okay, so especially when you are inside a class, you will use the self. Okay, so this is going to represent the current instance of the class. This context is going to pass the instance of the context under which the operator is called. Okay, this can be like scene, or this can be object. Okay, so anything like that. So we are not going to dive deep into this. So if you're really interested in learning all these little things, I recommend you to take this Python for Blender UDEMY course. I'll share you the link in the description, so you can, if you're interested, you can go and take a look at that course. Fine, let's focus here. The first thing that I'm going to create is I'm going to create a simple layout. So layout equal to self.layout. So I'm asking this instance to pass the layout reference. Okay, so this is going to create a simple layout here. So it's going to be a hidden one. If I just going to run the script, no errors, and you won't be able to see anything here because our layout is empty. So let's go and fill that. So the first thing that we are going to create is we are going to create a label. So where we are going to create this label, enter this layout. So layout.label. Let's give a name for that label. It should be text equal to just a label. Okay, so let's run the script, and you can see we are having the label here. Great. Now I'm going to show you what are rows, how to create a row. So for that, first we need to create a variable. Okay, and we need to create layout.row. So this is going to create a row for this layout. So we are inside a single layout now. So we are creating a layout, we are creating a row now. Okay, so let me run this, and you can notice the difference here. Let me comment this. Okay, I want you to focus here. You can notice this thing. So a row is being added here. So let's go and fill something inside the row. So let's create a label inside this row. Okay, and make sure that you have replaced this layout with this row, because now we are under this layout.row, not in the topmost layer. You can think of it like layout. Inside layout, we are having a layout.row, and we are inside the row here. It's a tree-like structure. Okay, so now if I'm going to run this, I'm going to get the label here. I'm going to change the text. This is row 1. Okay, let me run this. So great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste it multiple times. So you can notice that now this is filling in horizontal direction because we are still inside this row. So we need to fill this row only. Blender won't allow us to move and fill the next line. So even if I'm going to copy and paste it multiple times, okay, it's going to squeeze and place it here. Okay, you can see it here. So that's great. So let's have two layouts, two labels. Fine. This is row and this is row 1. And we can also optionally give a parameter called align equal to true. Okay, so it is going to align, so you won't be able to notice the difference. So okay, now instead of this, let's go and show something else. So row dot, and I'm going to show a property here. So what property we are going to show? We are actually going to show a property related to this object. Okay, that is from the current context. So you can see we are having the object here, context.object. So this is going to give the current context, and what we can have here is you can tell the name of the property. So we can say location. This is nothing but the location that we have here. Okay, I'm going to get this and put it here. Okay, let me run the script, and great, you can also interact with that. See, now I'm able to interact with the values, so that's great. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste it here and change this to scale. Okay, now you can see we are having two values here. Now if I'm going to remove this align and compile that, you can see there's a small spacing over here. It's equal to true. If I'm going to get that here again, that space will disappear. So it will try to fill everything. So I'm going to remove this and put it like this. So great. So instead of having this in the same row, what we can do is we can create another row and put it there. Great. Now we have this. So what we can now create is we can start creating columns. We can split and start creating columns. Okay, great. So now we can also rename this like row 1, okay, and row 2. So now let's go and create a column. Okay, so first for that we need to split, right? Split equal to layout split. Okay, okay, so now we are ready to split. So this is going to be column equal to, so I can name it as column 1 equal to split dot column. Okay, so you need to keep this in mind. We can, from layout we can create a row that is going to create an horizontal row, and also from layout we can create a split. Using that we can create a column. Okay, so this is going to be column 1, and inside this I'm going to paste this label, and I'm going to have another column. Okay, this is column 2, and I'm just going to uncomment this. Fine. So let me run this. There's some error it seems. Okay, it should not be row, it should be column 1, and here it should be column 2. Okay, so you can see now we are having 2 rows. If you want another row, you can just go and create like this and make sure that you're renaming it. Okay, we got another row, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start filling. So change this column 1 to column 3. Okay, let's change this. Okay, this column 1 2 3. So I'm going to change, put in this. You can see this thing here. So we are left with only one thing, so that is the operator. We need to create buttons, right? So let's go and create buttons. So we have, if you remember from the first part, why we use buttons. So how buttons are working in Blender, it is going to call an operator. So whenever you are going to call an operator, it is going to actually behave like a button. So it is like a command button. Okay, you can think of it something like that. Okay, so let's go and create a button. So for that, first we need to decide where we are going to put this button. Okay, I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to put this in the second column. Okay, so call to dot operator. Okay, so this is actually going to create a button. So we need to tell what action this particular thing needs to do. Okay, let's go and take a look at different operators that are available in Blender. So we know where to look for that. Okay, we can perform, that is a mesh level operation. Maybe since we are dealing with objects, we can do something like that. So we can create this, use this wireframe. So wireframe And I think we need to do this in edit mode. I'm not sure. Yeah, we need to do this in edit mode. So let's go inside that and let's run that. So you can see the wireframe modifier is applied. So we can just do the same thing. Okay, let's go and call that. We just need to type the mesh.wireframe, not this Bpy.ops, because we are already inside the operator. So mesh.wireframe. Okay, so let me delete this and let me create a new cube. Let me run the script. Okay, so you can notice one more thing here. Since we are in the object mode, it is not active. Okay, it is actually checking whether we are in object mode or edit mode. Now once if we are inside the edit mode, and if we click on this wireframe, you can see it is changed. Okay, this is great. So now we know that what are layouts, splits, rows, columns, and how to call an operator from the UI. We can now go ahead and complete our operator that we have started creating in the very first session. Okay, so with all these knowledge, let's move to the next module and we will complete our add-on. We will create everything, all the class. We will create everything from scratch and we will complete that. So I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.